Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to say Barakatah, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Salutations to the sincere Akim that puts this truth in all due diligence and sincerity. Right now, Esau Edom, this devil, is being exposed for the Satan that he is, the great Satan, as the Persians, the Iranians call him. Because through the use of social media, it's been a double-edged sword. Of course, Esau Edom has used it to push the sensitization and to further his false agenda in regards to him being the righteous, so-called. But in actuality, what is also allowed is it's allowed for people to see basically straight through the bullshit, man. Because people now, at the end of the day, don't have to wait for alternative news or even the mainstream media to put out narratives. They can just look up information themselves, use social media platforms, the likes of Reddit, Twitter, etc., and find out news directly for themselves. And people have been out here basically scouring the net, researching things pertaining to like the war in Gaza, for example, the Iranian war, man, that these devils illegally, according to their own laws, launched against Iran. And Esau Edom's got his skirt lifted, and people can see that this man is a hypocrite, man. Isaiah the 32nd chapter, and I'm gonna go straight to the point of verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the child said to be bountiful. Because basically, a child and of course a vile person, man, are derogatory terms. They're individuals made to be despised. But Esau Edom, for the longest, has pushed this false narrative, trying to portray himself as a man of valor, a man of righteousness, when in actuality, man, pursuant to Malachi the first chapter, man, the same way the Lord hates this man, he's created himself basically this false image, despite being the man to be hated, man, despite being the wicked vessel created for destruction by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, the vessel fitted for wrath. And for the longest, he's been called liberal. People have looked to him to spread good domestic, quote-unquote, democratic values, to spread positivity and his bullshit democracy system across the face of the planet Earth. When in actuality, man, he's brought nothing but Satanism and wickedness, man, to the planet. For the vile person, verse 6, will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy. They said that they were going to go into negotiations with Iran because they wanted to move out the enriched uranium within the country. They've got nuclear weapons, and America is the only nation to ever drop an atomic weapon one stage before nuclear on the country, and that was Japan, going back to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Even after the Japanese had waved the white flag, America is the only nation, bunch of devils, that has ever used atomic warfare, man, and decimated a population. Yet they're saying they got to police Iran because Iran's too evil to have one. But Iran has never gone out their way to forcibly kill mass populations, even under surrender. Yeah, they said they were going to go into negotiations with Iran. And in the middle of the negotiations and the talks, them and Israel, the devils that they are, and Amalek being the least of the flock, drawing them out, launched joint strikes against Iran, man. And then when Iran decided to defend itself and then start shooting down their military bases after their supreme leader was assassinated, the UK was running this media propaganda narrative of Iran being stepping out of his place and attacking military bases in foreign countries. It was like saying that, basically they were being vile and they were evidencing why as a regime they're wicked and need to be destroyed. All sorts of fucking going on. But that's the nature of this fucking devil, bro. Yeah? Because at the end of the day, through peace, he destroys and continues to destroy many. He's now saying that he's going to bring down the Iranian regime in the aim of establishing peace, when in actuality, all these devils wanted was to expand the state of Israel and to take over the natural resources of that land, being oil, man. And rightfully so, the Iranians have fought back, and they're getting the backing of wider members of the international community You've got the EU pussyfoot and not sure what to do, talking about, oh yeah, well, we're not going to get involved. Okay, we're going to send military personnel and troops and fighter jets and boats. But in actuality, it's just Esau being Esau, man, and being fucking exposed for his villainy. Verse 6 again, for our person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord Yahweh. Because America under Trump already took their B-2 bombers. They dropped heavy duty material on what was supposed to be the sites enriching uranium for Iran, which was already fucking dangerous. But they then put out statements claiming that they got everything they needed to get and still decided to go in and invade. Because ultimately the Iranians were prepared. Yeah, they caused mass damage, and yeah, they got some of their shit. But those Iranians have been preparing for the longest because they've known the agenda of Esau Edom. They've known his nature, and they understand that Bibi Netanyahu, not a real Jew, yeah, and so-called Netanyahu, who's alleged dead at the minute, we'll wait to see what happens there, has had it in for them for the longest. You see, everybody knows that this man is the devil, Esau Edom, man, the physical incarnation of the spiritual demon Satan. Everybody is very much aware of that fact, and that's especially more so. That's especially apparent, even more so now, all thanks to the World Wide Web, man, and the fact that all of his wicked deeds are being made prevalent for all to see. It says, to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. I mean, we don't give a fuck about these heathen, because at the end of the day, they've also historically had a hand in oppressing Israel. But you look at Gaza, for example, they were stopping aid from getting in there, man. They were starving children. When this war kicked off, America bombed the school of girls, man. 150 children dead. And then they tried to say that it wasn't them and it was Iran bombing itself because they weren't organized. Mate, even though the weapon dropped was one of their own, and you had Trump on TV lying, saying, oh yeah, you know, the Iranians are the ones that commit war crimes. And then when it finally got investigated and the Americans snitched on themselves, all of a sudden he knew nothing about it. This is the hypocrisy, man. And that's why ultimately we're instructed very clearly to do this. This is Isaiah the 14th chapter and the 21st verse. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant, and son and nephew, saith the Lord Yahweh. Basically, the Lord's going to do away with Esau Edom, starting first and foremost with America, of course Israel, and all the surrounding Edomite nations. How is he going to do that? Through that nuclear fire. Yeah, you nations are going to be brought into situations where you literally have to fight against each other, pursuant to Ezekiel the 38th chapter. And in the midst of all of that heat and madness, the Lord's going to have you destroy yourselves, and the chariots are going to come, and his elects are going to do the rest, man. Esau Edom is going to be put down, man, perpetually, and you're going to be put down violently, man, with fire, because you fucking deserve it. You devils are a cancer to the earth, you so-called white people, man. And I say so-called because you'll see, if your seed goes back to Esau Edom, and you are, you know, on the, if you identify as a so-called white man, or even if you're a tear and look like a Jake or one of these other nations, and your seed goes back to Esau Edom as your patriarch, man, you are going into perpetual you're going into 1,000 years captivity, Salakio, and then will be perpetually destroyed. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Hawashai. Just read the book of Obadiah, the 18th verse, man, and it breaks it down clearly for you. You devils are created to be the wicked, man. Hence why everywhere you go, man, you got Israel sticking their fucking tentacles into everything, starting wars in over 7 countries in a year with America, including, of course, Palestine, Iran. They've been bombing Lebanon, Syria. Yo, you know, the list goes on, man. Because at the end of the day, Esau Edom, man, has to go. You see, the Lord quite clearly created you to be the wicked, man. It's written off in the Apocrypha in Sirach, the 33rd chapter. But the Prophet Malachi himself, even before then, knew, man. In regards to Jacob, it's all love. Even though we've fallen short as a people, even though we go to hell off as a nation, the Lord, of course, is going to have mercy on his elect and will yet choose Israel. 2/3 of our people are going to die first, and they're going to die grievous deaths, but ultimately the Lord will choose Israel. Malachi 1 and let me start from verse 3. And I hated Esau, because we know the Lord loves Jacob. And I hated Esau, verse 3, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the God of armies, by the way. They shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them, being Esau, the border of wickedness. The people who basically, man, carry wickedness wherever they fucking go. And the people against whom the Lord Yahweh have indignation forever. That's an eternal hatred. And that's a perfect hatred at that. So what do you think we as his servants have for you, Esau? We despise you fucking devils. And we see all of the wickedness that you're carrying out upon the face of the planet Earth, man. In the name of trying to be the Lord's chosen people. When you know who the real chosen are, Yahweh or Yahweh Shai are. Yeah, and it definitely ain't you fucking cracker devils. You got another thing coming. All these other nations as well are seeing the wickedness, man. Yeah, the Ishmaelites want their hands on you. Them Hamites want their hands on you. You got Trump talking about Somalia. Oh, they're good for us stealing ships. You fucking devils are the biggest thieves up on the face of the planet Earth ever. You stole people. You stole identities. You stole heritages and history. And before you even get into the actual physical items and the gold and the diamonds and the rubies, you stole dignity, man. You stole heritage. You stole whole land masses and their history. You know, you want to be the Egyptians in every flick. You want to be the Israelites. You want to be the Aborigines and every, like, listen, you take the dark art and you totally deface it. You take the scriptures and try and twist it and curve it to try and manipulate people into believing that you're a righteous people. Man, listen, when the time comes for you devils to go down, the entire earth is going to rejoice. Even nature, the trees themselves, the grass is going to rejoice. The animals are going to be glad and glorious, man, because you devils are a cancer to absolutely fucking everything. Yeah, and I can't wait. I know ultimately brothers can't wait. Yahweh Hashem Shai is going to give you into our hands, and when we get our hands on you fucking devils, we are going to rip you apart. Yeah, and it's going to be a beautiful thing, man. For the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to be with it. He's going to make us his battle axe and weapons of war, and you're going to go from being you're going to go from being perceived as righteous, even though you're a piece of shit, to literally being worse than your former state, man. In your base estate once we put you down. Esau Edom, you got a lot of judgment to look forward to, man. Those 1,000 years are going to go slow. And after that 1,000-year captivity era, when we put you in those pits pursuant to Obadiah 18, yo, that temperature, that fire, man, that blue flame, Yahweh Shai is going to put the heat up on your ass, man. And we're with it, man. We're with it. May the Lord Yahweh Shai bring a speedy destruction to you fucking devils. Yeah? Kwame Asha'Allah, may the Lord Yahweh Shai Barakatam bless you. Sincere Akim in his truth. Kwame Asha'Allah. Till the next time, say Shalom. Shalom. Yahweh Shai Barakatam to the true sincere elect. Shalom.